All right. Welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time we're tackling languages,
Okay.
and particularly how Spanish speakers learn English pronunciation,
Okay.
which should be
Interesting.
pretty fascinating, I think.
Yeah.
So,
For English speakers.
yeah, for English speakers or for Spanish speakers.
And for Spanish speakers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the first thing is just that
Mhm.
English has a lot more vowel sounds
It does.
than Spanish does.
Yeah.
Spanish has like 5.
5.
And English has 12 pure vowels
Okay.
and then 8 diphthongs.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so that's a lot.
yeah, and diphthongs are like the
Lot.
sounds that glide like oi and toy.
Right. Like a combination of 2 vowel sounds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference right there.
That is.
And so like some of the pairs that are difficult for Spanish speakers would be
Yeah.
like the difference between like sit and seat.
Ah, yeah.
That's a classic one.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
the long E and the short I
The long E and the short I, yeah.
can be tough.
And you know, it's interesting because
Yeah.
the way you make those sounds is actually quite different in your mouth.
Yeah.
You know, so for that EE sound in seat,
Mm-hmm.
you're really like spreading your lips wide and
Oh,
tensing
okay.
your tongue.
Okay.
But for that short I in sit,
Mm-hmm.
your tongue is more relaxed
Okay.
and your lips are more neutral.
Okay.
So it's like learning
Yeah.
a whole new set of movements
Yeah.
for your mouth.
Yeah, and it is a lot of muscle control
Absolutely.
that goes into pronunciation.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
It's not just about hearing the difference. It's also
Right.
about being able to physically produce it.
Yeah. Are there any other
Yeah,
vowel pairs that are tough?
absolutely.
Mhm.
I think another good example is
Okay.
full and fool.
Oh, yeah.
So that short U in full.
And that long U in fool
Yeah.
can also be tricky.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, again, it goes back to that difference in the vowel systems.
Mm.
English uses a lot more vowel variation
Okay.
to distinguish meaning,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Spanish relies more heavily on consonant sounds.
Okay.
So it's
Got
like
it.
a different way of encoding information.
Yeah, that's a really
Yeah.
interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what about consonants? Are there
Oh, absolutely.
some tough ones there too?
Yeah, so there are quite a few consonants
Huh.
that pose challenges for Spanish speakers.
Okay.
One interesting example is
Up
that
there.
in Spanish, they don't really differentiate
Okay.
between V and B.
So like van and ban.
Exactly. Van could easily become ban,
Right.
which could lead to some funny situations.
I bet.
I actually heard a story once about a Spanish speaker who was trying to buy a van and
And they kept getting shown like,
they kept getting shown bans, and there was
Yeah.
just this total miscommunication.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the famous English H,
the H, yeah.
which is often silent in Spanish.
Yeah.
So you might get things like house
Wow.
coming aus.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that some Spanish speakers
Yep.
don't seem to have as much trouble with the H.
Okay.
So I think it might depend on the dialect a little bit.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then we can't forget the TH.
Yes.
Yeah.
The TH sound
Good
the unvoiced TH
Yeah.
as in think
Right.
and the voiced TH as in this.
Yeah.
Those can be real tongue twisters.
I bet.
For Spanish speakers, often they'll substitute a T or a D.
Yeah.
So think might become tink,
Yeah.
or this might become dis.
Right.
I
I know when I was learning Spanish, I really struggled with
don't know that.
the sounds that are similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also saw that
Yeah.
Spanish has restrictions on like,
It does.
Consonant clusters
yes. So at the end of words,
at the end of words. Yeah.
in Spanish, you're less likely to see words
Yeah.
ending in 2 or more consonants.
Right.
Like we have in English.
Okay.
So this often leads Spanish speakers
Okay.
to add a vowel
Okay.
to break up those clusters.
So they'll say it.
So for example, past
Okay.
might become pasta.
Pasta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it all comes down to these
Yeah.
like fundamental differences
Right.
in the structure of the languages.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah, and I think understanding these
Yeah.
differences can help us be more,
Mm-hmm.
empathetic and understanding of the challenges that language learners face.
Totally. It's a huge accomplishment
It is.
to learn another language.
It really is.
Yeah, so for all of our listeners out there,
Mm-hmm.
what sounds do you think would be hardest
Yeah.
for you to learn
Good question.
if you were going to pick up a new language? Yeah, definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
All right. We'll see you next time.
See you later.